I have 4 children. My youngest, Madeline, was the cutest little girl. I mean, all kids are cute, but Madeline was exceptional, truly. There was something about her that was adorable. I think it had to do with confidence. You see, she grew up with 3 older siblings, constantly telling her how cute and wonderful and perfect she was, and she believed them. If I could describe her as a child using one sentence, I would say this: she was exceptionally comfortable in her own skin. There was something so attractive about it. It made me think, I want to be Madeline when I grow up. So my daughter Madeline was born in 2009. She's our youngest child. She is a joy. She is an absolute joy still to this day. Now she's 17 years old, and it's so cool to watch her grow and mature into this just amazing young woman of God. And so she was born in 2009, but in 2007, there was a company, it was called Twirly Girl, and they started producing or hand sewing these dresses that were reversible for little girls. And they were beautiful dresses. We got one from, I think somebody in our church gave it to us as a hand-me-down, and Madeline's in particular was pink. It was pink, it was sleeveless, it was pink on one side, and then had kind of like a embroidery of flowers on it. And then it would reverse, which was super cool for so many reasons. It would reverse to the other side, and then it had like kind of a crushed velvet blue, and then it was rainbow. And it was great, and it was super durable and easy to wash. It was like perfect in every way. You could tell that a mom made these dresses. But even beyond like what it looked like was how it made Madeline feel when she put it on. As soon as she would put that dress on, she would just begin to dance and begin to twirl. And the way that the dress was designed, when you would twirl, it would flare up into like this perfect cylinder. And so it was just so fun. I mean, it was so fun in every way. And I just recently actually kind of read up on the owner of the company. And she writes about how a little bit about her childhood, and how 7 years of abuse as a child had robbed her of a childhood, that she grew up feeling ashamed, ugly, unloved, unworthy. And it took her a long time to kind of work through all of that. And when she had her own family, when she got married and had her daughters, she knew that she wanted to pass down something to them, something different to them. And so she had this idea of Twirly Girl, and she made these dresses so that when her daughters would dance in them, they would feel beautiful, that they would feel just unhindered, free, joyous, all of these wonderful feelings we think of that we associate with like childhood and the innocence and the beauty of childhood. And so she did. And I think often about Madeline in that dress. She wore it so much. She completely wore it out. There was no hand-me-down after us. But I think about her in that dress, and I picture her, dancing in our family room and twirling in the backyard and jumping on the trampoline and just everything. I picture her. And for me, that picture is an embodiment of freedom. It's what freedom looks like. It's somebody who is living exactly as they were created to be, without being hindered by anything, without any shame, without any embarrassment, without any feelings of unworthiness, just free. And it's beautiful. When I think about that, when I glimpse that, I think I'm actually glimpsing beauty. It's really what beauty is. And I think that's God's desire for us. I believe that's God's desire for us. this is God's desire for us. This is his desire for us. This is why God sent his son Jesus to this earth. He came to set the captives free. He came to set us free. In fact, one of my favorite passages, I love, it's in Luke chapter 4, and it talks about how Jesus returns to his hometown. He returns to Nazareth, and he goes into the synagogue, and everybody is gathered, and he goes and he opens the book, and he turns to Isaiah 61, and he reads. And this is what he says. He says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. And it goes on and says, he has anointed me. And he lists some things. He has anointed me to preach the good news. He has anointed me to heal the brokenhearted. But then he says this, he has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives, to set at liberty those who are oppressed. And that is actually God's desire for us, that we would live in freedom, that we would live unhindered, unashamed. You see, Jesus came to set us free. He came to set us free from the law. To set us free from that mandate, from that expectation that we had to do everything perfectly. You see, God always knew that the law would never work. He always knew that the law would be just a tutor. That's what he talks about. I think it's in Galatians, that it would be a tutor that would bring us to Christ, to our need, that it wasn't going to be by works that we achieved this relationship with God, but by faith. In fact, it says, I think in Galatians as well, that Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law. Think about that for a moment. He redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse himself. And so he freed us. He freed us from these expectations, from the expectations of other people, from the expectations of ourselves. But also he set us free from sin. And we know what God or what Christ accomplished on that cross. We know that was the place and the moment when salvation was opened up, salvation by faith in Christ alone, by his shed blood on that cross. He set us free from the penalty of sin, which was death, from the wages of sin, which was death. He set us free from that death sentence, but he also set us free from the bondage of sin in our life. The things that trip us up, the footholds that sin begins to allow. And he says, no, but you know what? That's not going to keep you shackled. I have come to set you free in those areas too. That we no longer have to live under the oppression of our sin because Christ has had victory over it. And then he says, now that victory is yours as well. And I believe that we are never more beautiful as women of God. We are never more beautiful than when we are living free. When we are actually living in that freedom, when we are experiencing in our life, when we are being who God created us to be, designed us to be from the beginning, when we are living unhindered, unashamed in his presence because sin has been dealt with and we can see him face to face, unveiled. That's his desire. That's his desire for us. And that's my desire. That's my desire for you, women of God, is that you would run the race that God has set before you. It talks about in Hebrews that since we are surrounded by this great cloud of witnesses, run your race. Run your race with endurance. And the only way, ladies, that you can run it with endurance is if you lay aside every weight, everything that keeps pulling you down, and every sin, everything that comes between you and God. As we begin to lay aside those things and we begin to fix our eyes on Jesus, we can run with endurance. And that's my desire. That's my hope for you. That's my hope for me. That's my hope for women as a whole, that we can live in that freedom, that we can be Madeline at 3, when she would twirl in that dress for hours, unhindered, unashamed, being exactly who God created her to be. Doesn't that just sound beautiful? I mean, just glimpse that for a moment, what that would be, what that would look like in your life if you were just who God created you to be, unhindered, unashamed, freely enjoying the presence of your Father. So God bless you. I look forward to chatting with you very soon. Have a good day.